Hello, everyone, and welcome to Conversations in Horror, the podcast. I am your host, Kevin L. Powers. I'm also the owner operator of Something Wicked Entertainment and Events, and I want to welcome you to our program today. I want to, you know what? Actually, I hope that you've been enjoying this month of December and all the great Christmas movies that we have been delving into. Because what I have for you today is actually something that it could be a Christmas movie. It could not be. We actually don't know because it just takes place in a winter setting in the mountains. In some places in the world, it's snow in the mountains all the time. So, with that, I'm actually going to tell you the name of the movie we're going to do first before I bring in my guest. We're going to be doing the original Cold Prey from 2006. It's a favorite of ours here at the show. We're finally able to get to doing an episode based on it. And to talk with me on this film is the amazing Nate Hill. I want to thank you, Nate, for joining us again for the show.
Good to be here. I demand that I be called the amazing Nate Hill at most times during the day, just for the record.
So, first of all, this was a Norwegian, right? I almost forgot what this is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Norwegian. So this is a Norwegian film, and the thing is, I'm hoping a lot of people have heard about it, but if you've not heard about this film, I hope that after we talk about it, you will actually go out there and seek it out. It was a really, really popular film when it came out, so much so that it had 2 sequels afterwards. So with that, let's start off, Nate. Kind of give me your impressions of this film when you first saw it. How did you come across this movie?
Really just wandering around in the waning days of Blockbuster, I believe. I came across the DVD on the shelf. I checked it out. Was it? Well, 2006. Was Blockbuster still in business at that point?
I do not know.
In that case, I'm not sure how I came across Cold Prey then. It might just be my age-addled brain misfiring on me. But I took a look at Cold Prey. This is best known as Norwegian's first slasher film.
Yep.
The original title in Norwegian is Fritt Vilt. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but that's what they called it over there. And directed by Roar Uthaug. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name as well.
He's gone on to do a lot of great movies since this one, so this was a huge stepping stone for him.
And the quick IMDb synopsis of the first Cold Prey is 5 young Norwegians head up to the mountains to snowboard. One breaks his leg and it's getting dark soon, so they spend the night in a big abandoned hotel, closed 30 years ago. They are not welcome. And thing to keep in mind about Cold Prey, this is a very basic, stripped to the bones slasher story, I would say. Again, you have a group of young 20-somethings in an isolated location through both injury and weather. They have to stay there for the night. And turns out there's a killer on the premises. And he's not happy for various reasons, which seem to have a lot to do with his parents.
Which we get in some of the flashbacks. Actually, we don't get much in flashbacks. What we do is it kind of opens with like a flashback with a kid with a birthmark running through the snow. And I think that's a great way to open this movie up, running through the snow. And we don't see exactly what happens to him, but then we they kind of cut to news reports and newspapers and all this stuff about these 2 parents who have been looking for their child who's gone missing. And it's one of those type of things where you think that the kid, we don't know why he's running through the snow. He's terrified as all get out, but something has happened to him at this swank hotel. I think it's a hotel, right? It's a hotel.
I think it's like a skiing resort. Just out in the middle of the mountains of Norway.
Well, it just seems it's a great location, but it seems weird because I don't see like any way of skiing. It just seems like in the middle of nowhere. So I wasn't.
Well, it does start out with the 20-something snowboarding, and they're having a good time, and they're like admiring the views.
Oh, this is
And
amazing cinematography too for the beginning of this movie when they're showing all that stuff too.
true.
Yeah,
And you got to keep in mind, this is a beautiful looking film.
yeah.
I mean, the directors, the filmmakers, they made well use of the fact that this is set in the Norwegian mountains.
Mm-hmm.
I think the mountain was, well, I have that note somewhere. I think it was pronounced Jotunheim Mountain in Norway.
Hmm.
And it's a cool looking place. And just the setting is what helps give Cold Prey its own identity
Yes.
more than anything else. But, you know, as snowboarders do, one of them breaks a leg and they have to cut the party short. And they discuss trying to get back to the car, but there's a bad snowstorm coming in and they need to find shelter. And lo and behold, they manage to spot these remote buildings off in the distance, which is apparently handier to get to than their car. So they head over to the hotel, they break in, they take shelter, and it seems that on the surface, this place has been closed down since the 70s,
Yes.
but the generator still seems to work. There's still jarred preserves in the pantry and alcohol.
Yeah.
So they turn on the power, they settle in, and
They
they
waited
do
out.
what young people in slasher films tend to do.
Yeah,
Besides,
yeah, the thing is about this movie is that it doesn't really tread new territory at all in
oh
regards to
no,
slasher film, but the look of the movie and the location are what sets it apart from other films. It's kind of like when we did the episode on Dead Snow, which is Nazi zombies. The thing about that movie is that made it different is that it was Nazi zombies in snow. It's like the winter season. It was cool to watch all that stuff because it's something that you hadn't seen before. It goes the same with this one. Um,
quick aside, you got to figure that cold weather would be better for zombies anyway. You know, I mean, they slow down the decomposition that must be happening at some point. But anyhow, another thing to keep in mind about Cold Prey is this is very much a slow burn
mhm.
sort of movie. It really takes its time building up tension, and you know something awful is going to happen to these characters in this remote hotel in the middle of nowhere. But you know they keep as they go through the hotel, they keep finding items and things that seem kind of weird and odd, a little more
And out of
ominous.
place.
Oh yeah, they go
Yeah.
through the guest book. They find indications that someone is might still be living in here, and I was impressed by the generator uh,
Why?
cranking up after all that time.
I would
Well, I
think.
guess it's the killer would have been keeping it in good working condition at that point.
Yeah, I get the impression that the killer, who I think is just called the Mountain Man in the movie,
Yeah,
the Mountain
yeah.
Man, he's not given a name. All we know is that at the very beginning, he has a birthmark over one of his eyes, and that's pretty much all we know about this kid. And the fact that his parents didn't own the hotel, they were visiting, and or I think it was visiting. I don't think they own the hotel. I don't think they mentioned if they own them or not, but in the news program it just says that they were looking for their missing son. I don't think I got the impression that they owned that location. I just thought they were someone who were like there for the skiing of
I
that
was a
vacation.
little unclear about
Yeah,
that
so it is a little okay.
myself.
Okay. So yeah,
About
I had
the
to think about that too. I couldn't remember.
about the slow burn, I found it both a good and a bad thing. I mean, you get to know these characters along the way,
Mm-hmm.
and when the awful things start happening, you feel more of an impact. I think it's only until the midway point of the movie where the action kicks in
Yeah.
for the first time. Um, yeah, I believe the first kill scene was after one of the female characters wasn't comfortable with going too far with her significant other in the hotel. She's left alone in her hotel room, and that's when the killer strikes with a pickaxe.
Yeah.
Pickaxe. Did I say kick-ass? I might have said
wrong movie, wrong comic book. Yes, you're talking. And for everyone listening, he's referring to the characters of Ingen and Mikkel. They're at this very beginning stages of their relationship, and Ingen has obviously told our main star Jannicke that she's falling in head over heels for this guy Mikkel, but he, being like the regular male that he is, doesn't realize that when she wants to take it slow, it doesn't mean that she's playing a game with him. She just really, really, really likes him. In fact, she actually says she might even love this guy. So
young love,
yeah. Huh?
Young love.
On the slopes, yeah. So it's very important that you have that kind of connection for these characters, because later on, that is part of the motivation for the Mikkel character to do what he does. Without that kind of relationship between him and Ingen, you don't get the reason that he feels guilt when he realizes she's missing, and he could either stay safe himself or go out there and search for her. And he goes out there to search for her against better judgment because he feels so guilty about how he treated her.
Yeah, there's a little while there where you feel like sympathy for Mikkel.
Yeah,
but he later throws that all down the drain.
Yeah, because he gets to be. He does
jump ahead a bit, but
yeah, I know. He's the fun character to kind of pick on, because he's the male character that acts like a male, but then you think he might be sympathetic, but then he acts like a male again. But the thing is, each one of these characters in this film has a different flavor to them, I guess. Actually, the one who doesn't seem that much that has that much differentiation is actually Jannicke, who is the main character.
Oh yeah, the final girl.
Yeah, the final girl. She doesn't seem like we can understand Ingen, because as we learn, she's a virgin and she's falling head over heels for this guy, and she wants to be forward but not too forward. And when she gets killed, you feel sympathy for her, because she seems like the most innocent out of all of the characters in this film. So if the most innocent character gets killed, like, they already reversed that trend where the virgin doesn't die. No, the virgin's the first one to die in this movie.
Now that you brought it up, it does look. Yeah, Jannicke is a capable character from right at the beginning. Actually, she's a take charge person with a medical background.
Yep.
She knows how to help the injured guy who is snowboarding. Knows how to apply super glue that they found in the hotel to help set his wound and get things going like that. And when you put it like that, I have to wonder if it might have been more of an improvement if Ingrid might have done better as a final girl. When you describe her like that, you give her like room to grow and build as a character. Well, Jannicke, yeah, she goes through the ringer, certainly, but she starts capable and she ends as a more capable badass, I guess you would say. If Ingrid had made that journey, maybe that would have been. That's a more interesting character arc by itself.
Yeah,
but I digress.
No, but that's the thing you should start talking about, because these are the things that they've changed to make this film different than what you would expect from a typical type of slasher film like this. And so it makes it more interesting, because you don't just have these five characters who are simple cannon fodder. I mean, the guy Morton who gets injured snowboarding, from the very beginning, we get the hint that he has feelings for Jannicke, but he just doesn't say it because she's with Eric, who's kind of the leader of the pack, so to speak. He knows where they're going. He's kind of the leader of the team. He's also the one who was driving them all up there. So obviously he's the I hate to say this, the manliest of the men.
He's also the guy who breaks the window that lets them into the hotel in the first place.
And he's the one who says he's going to go back to the cars and get help for them. He's going out there by himself to do all this.
Which was not a turns out to be the wrong move, actually. It's understandable he did that, but he goes he makes out with Janique for a bit. Janique hands her like I think it's like this set of keys with good luck charm on it. And he doesn't get far from the hotel before he comes across Ingrid's body lying in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
And he's about to turn to go back to the hotel when wham, the mountain man shows up, swings the blunt side of a pickaxe, and it looks like for a moment there that Eric is done for. Oh, was it Eric? Did you say
Eric?
Pardon me. It looks like he's done there, but he's going to show up again later in the film. Yeah. About these kill scenes, though, one thing that kind of bothered me about the slow burn, the pacing and all that, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think in a slasher movie like this, if you're going to draw things out like that, you should have more interesting kill scenes. I mean, Ingrid's kill scene, there was certainly a lot of blood. I mean, they took a couple gallons of blood up the mountain when they were shooting this thing, and you had him handy in the hotel. But I think I kind of felt like it was a little underwhelming in that aspect. If they had put, it might have been a budget thing. Maybe they just didn't have the cash to make more practical effects for the gore and the blood or have it handy. But I just got the feeling that maybe a pickaxe through his skull could have helped things a bit.
So I have actually something for that, actually, because the thing is, in the early 2000s, especially in 2004 to 2008, American films were being much more gritty and being much more violent in their kill scenes. On the show, we recently spoke about the Black Christmas remake, and we talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and we were discussing a lot of the American films that were going for that blood and guts and extreme gore during that early period of the early 2000s. Whereas this one's from Norwegian slasher film, and it's more or less one of their very first one. So they don't have like that history of having made these type of movies before. So I found that very interesting.
Yeah, heck, if it's going to be Norway's first slasher film, I kind of feel like they should have gone for the throat a bit more. But that's just me. One thing I did think maybe could also have been an improvement in the first act is if there was a few quick cutscenes of the mountain man possibly murdering other young skiers. I mean, it's a big mountain. There's plenty of room for other snowboarders on that slope.
Yeah.
Other people could have been taken out pretty quick just to build up a little more impact with the slasher himself.
It could have. I kind of like it the way, and the thing is, I really do enjoy the second one of this as well, and that's a much more bloodier affair. Because after they figured out what they had a gold mine with this first film. They really went to distance on the second film, and this is almost a really, really self-contained little slasher film in a small location. It just happens to have a really amazing location that they focused on, and that's what makes it bigger than it actually is. And I think that's what helps this movie. But as you know, they made a sequel to this, a direct sequel, and then I believe the third one's like a prequel, if I remember correctly. You can see they got a bigger budget to expand on the concept a little bit more. But yeah, I've always seen this movie as a kind of a self-contained beginning movie, and nothing's explained. Like, you don't know how, when this whole hotel went to shit and just stopped. You don't know why there was a fire. They find the room that was in flames and there was a fire. The stuff that doesn't get answered. The mountain man, hey, to be honest with you, after he went missing, how did he survive before the whole place went to crap and people stopped going there? Was he killing people while he's a kid? There's lots of stuff in this they don't explain it. I don't think you really need it. It really is.
For all we know, that pantry they found might have been stuffed to the brim full of preserves back in the 1970s.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't a heavy eater. Maybe he's been surviving since 1975 on pickled yams and
this guy. This guy, like Mikael says, is built like a house. He ain't eating just the pickled lambs. That guy is. I would have thought that he would be more cannibalistic, to be honest with you. But we find out later in the film that he doesn't. He just kills the people. He doesn't really do anything with the bodies other than dispose of them. So he it's not the same as say the hillbilly mutants in the Wrong Turn series who end up killing the people and eating their people. These people are just. I mean, this mountain man is just killing them indiscriminately. There's no reason. He's like a.
When you put it like that, maybe there was another extra room in the back of the place where he was, making snowboarder sausages or something to that effect. Yeah,
and then he kept them in the crevice to keep them cold for the.
Oh, God.
We talk about this. I mean, there's a lot of things that I really love about this movie because I own all three of them, and I've watched this first one several times. I have not watched the third one more than once. So when we get around to doing that one, I'll have to rewatch that one. That one was much harder to come by. But the first two of these films are simply amazing. I think this film gets the whole self-contained location right. It made me feel like watching the Sam Raimi's Evil Dead movie where they're all stuck in the cabin, the very first one. I had a feeling like that, and I really enjoy those type of films that are really self-contained and just you're experiencing it with the characters, and you don't need all that extra fucking exposition in a film like this. You're right. It is a slow burn, but when this movie amps up, it does amp up. And I like the actress who plays Janicki, which is I'm going to try and say her name, which is Ingrid Bosso Berdal. I probably fucked that up. I mean, but I really like that actress and what she brought to the character. Now, I would have thought, like you said, that Ingen, who was the virgin, would be more like the final girl, but this final girl is still great.
Oh, yeah. And after Cold Prey, she went on to have a substantial career.
Yeah.
She was in Chernobyl Diaries, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, a Hercules movie from 2014, which I'm not familiar with.
Unless that's the one with The Rock.
Was it?
I don't know. There was a Hercules movie with The Rock, and then there was another Hercules movie that did not have The Rock. I don't know which one that is. They came out within the same year. There was two Hercules movies that came out within the same year.
How close was it to the Scorpion King?
Oh, it was years after the Scorpion King. Oh. Yeah.
Well, and it turns out that actress also played a character named Armistice on the HBO series Westworld. That was going.
Didn't know that.
Okay. It's been a while since I've seen it. I don't recall which one was Armistice offhand. But apparently she was in there doing her thing.
Okay.
Back to the single location, though. When the action kicks in, things get going. It's great. I was getting a little bit tired of them running through the same rooms over and over again. I think we saw the pantry a little bit too much, the kitchen a little bit too much, which is probably just a condition of the place they were filming at, which is a great location. But again, there's probably only so much of that place where they could do stuff.
I am under the same impression as you are with that. I do think they use the same locations a lot, but I also think that this was probably shot on location and they only picked a handful of locations to shoot at. It looks like it would have been a huge location to be at, but they purposely kept it self-contained for probably production reasons. They may not have had like power in the entire location. They may have had power in a small amount. I only know this because I've shot in several locations where we had to bring our own power in, and we decided not to try and run cables from a generator outside all the way over up on 3 different floors. We stayed strictly to the first floor of this supposedly haunted hospital that I did a film in, and like there are great locations everywhere else on the second and third floor, but we didn't running the power cables for all that type of stuff. We were a small independent film crew. We were trying to do what we could. We weren't expecting to have to do all that. We stayed to the first floor. We filmed everything on the first floor, and that's what we got. I kind of see that as something that may have happened on this. I actually don't know much about the production of this movie at all, despite the fact I've seen the first 2 several times. I don't know much about this one. In fact, I don't know much about Norwegian film industry, horror film industry. I'm just learning that, especially because the director of this one went off to do the Troll movie that was distributed by Netflix. I can't remember the year of that Troll movie, but I love that Troll movie he did. So I don't know much about Norwegian. I'm slowly learning about their film industry and their horror film industry. So.
And well, about the equipment thing, I understand they had to fly everything up to that place in helicopters. According to Wikipedia, it was 20 tons worth of equipment they had to bring up that mountain, shooting in negative 25 degrees Celsius. And took 2 years to make this thing, and another 9 months for the editing and the special effects to get done. So this was a labor.
Yeah.
A definite labor to do for everyone.
Wow. And of course, the second and third one just kind of came straight out after this movie was a success. I think when you kind of bare bones and make a story that's visceral as this one, and makes the characters at least seem, empathetic or like normal people, I think they're much more effective overall. I mean, we never know anything about the killer. I mean, he really would be the Norwegian version of a Jason Voorhees, to be honest with you. Especially by the time they do the sequel to this, where he should be dead.
I did like the fact that things are kept vague about the killer. I also appreciated the killer doesn't actually speak.
Yeah.
Throughout this film, that was a definite plus. Makes him more of an unstoppable, unknown force.
Yeah,
I felt. I suspected maybe an improvement could have been made on the killer's appearance.
Really, I like his appearance.
Well, he's wearing, old winter wear gear and goggles, an old parka that's all aged and turned the same shade of gray. I couldn't help suspect, I don't know, maybe there would have been a way to make more of an impact. I mean, he's a gray guy against white snow. It's a little mundane. Maybe it had more blood splatter, old black blood splatter on his parka to show up against the snow. That might have been something, but well, it's a very small matter. And
no, not really. I think you're right. I mean, when I rewatched this, I was still watching my DVD version of this, even though I have a Blu-ray copy of this film, and I did not watch that. I'm sad to say, because they redid the movie with my DVD box set. My Blu-ray box set has all 3 of them, and I watched the second and third one on that set, and they were pristine. I did not watch the first one. I don't know why I have not rewatched the first one, because on my DVD, the colors are muted, and I would like to rewatch it to see if the colors are muted in the Blu-ray version, which I believe was an upgrade of the film, or however they shot this. But yeah, with my original DVD version, I'm not sure which version you saw, the colors were very muted. So the whites look beautiful. The whites look beautiful on the DVD, but I can understand you saying all the grays and stuff, because they did look very gray and muted on my DVD version, which I'm hoping that they don't look that way on the Blu-ray version. And that's not the intention of what the filmmakers want. All that stuff to look very gray and muted. And I'm hoping that it pops in the Blu-ray, so I have to rewatch it again because of that only. And I just thought about that because you made comment on it.
Well, I probably should mention that I watched the standard def format. I didn't see a 4K version or an ultra high def uh, translation of the film. So, maybe it's a different matter with a higher quality of a picture.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched my Blu-ray version. I bought the Blu-ray version, the box set when I finally was able to get the third film. It's the only way I could have found the third film. Third film was so freaking hard for me to find, and the only way I got it was through the box set. I rebought all of them just so I can see the third movie.
Wow, was it worth it?
No, the third one I didn't care for. That's why I need to rewatch it. I need to rewatch it. So I can get a better, like, I've seen the first two multiple times. The third one I only saw the one time, and it really didn't click with me. And so I'm hoping that on a rewatch, so
okay.
But this one here, I recommend this film to a lot of people, especially friends of mine who like Troll, the director's Troll. And I say, have you seen Cold Prey? You need to see Cold Prey, and then watch Cold Prey too. Because I came to this film by having read about the second film when the second film came out. I had no idea about this movie. I read it in some horror magazine, the second film, and I was like, Cold Prey, what the fuck is this? I've never heard of this freaking movie before. And I usually hear about all these horror films. Never heard of it. And so I sought them out and then couldn't find them. And then I kind of forgot about it. And then they made a Cold Prey 3. And then I finally found the first two, got those in some DVD version, and I couldn't find the third one, so I was a little pissed off. And then finally I found the third one, but only part of the box set Blu-ray thing, so I got that one. My theory is that when the third one came out, they didn't release it in the US, so it was hard for them to, for me to find it for a while, and then they finally did a box set of all of them, and that's how but this is a definite film that I recommend for anyone who likes international films reading subtitles. I've actually watched the first one both with subtitles and English dubbed. The subtitles is much more preferable than the English dubbed. Just so you know.
Okay. Is it like more intense language, more
it's
authentic?
Watching this dubbed is kind of odd because you don't take it as serious because of the dubbing. Some of the stuff that they say, and it's only because the thing is, it's a dubbed version of a movie that I thankfully have already seen multiple times, and so watching it dubbed didn't bother me as much. But if I had watched it dubbed the first time, I don't know if my impressions would be as great as they are. To be honest with you, I don't. Watching it dubbed if you go into this movie not knowing it's a Norwegian film, and if you just watch a dubbed version, this film may come off as being your standard run-of-the-mill slasher film, and you may not take it that seriously. But coming into it, having known that it's a foreign film, it's a Norwegian slasher film, hopefully will allow people to give it another chance if they've seen it once and didn't like it, or just let them watch it if they're afraid of watching a subtitled movie. This movie definitely should be watched subtitled and not dubbed. And
another quick note, it's the acting is better than you might expect from a slasher film, particularly Norway's first slasher film. This is a project everybody took seriously.
Yeah,
it seems. They brought their A game to this.
Yeah, and and that's the thing is, on our program, this may be the first Norwegian film we talked about, actually, because we've not talked about any of the director's other movies, and I still want to talk about Troll because the Troll 2 is coming out pretty soon. By the time this episode airs in December, Troll 2 should already be out. So, but the thing is, I really enjoy the few Norwegian films I've seen. I probably have seen maybe 20, 30 Norwegian films altogether. 3 of which are the series here. And I'm always impressed with the films that I've seen because they like to use the location in a very visual way. Like in America, we sometimes forget that because so many of our films look interchangeable because they're shooting in Georgia, but they want it to look like California. They're shooting in Georgia, but they wanted to make it look like Texas. They're shooting in California, but they wanted to make it look like New York. But this is Norway. This is Norway. This is the it looks it doesn't look like fucking America. It looks like it does not look like it does not have that feel, and that atmosphere adds something tremendous to this film, as atmosphere does to any foreign film that I've seen that I will attest to.
Yeah. Okay. Quick bit of trivia. I understand the director, Roar Uthog, he also did a disaster movie called The Wave.
Excellent movie.
Yes, I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah. Yes, I enjoyed. Yes, I've seen. Yeah, I was like, I didn't know it was him at first when I picked it up. I forgot how I saw that movie. I picked it up on accident or read something about it. I don't remember about The Wave. And I was like, yeah, that sounds interesting. Let me pick that up. So I bought that movie. I ended up watching it. I was like, holy shit, this movie's good.
The Wave is great.
And then I realized who directed it, and I was like, oh shit, Coldplay.
I never watched the 2018 Tomb Raider film starring Alicia Vikander, but apparently that's another one of Roar Uthog's movies.
Another good one.
I understand it didn't do too well.
It didn't do well, so they didn't do a sequel, which is sad. I really enjoyed that one. That one felt like it should have been, unlike the two previous ones. That one felt like that's a Tomb Raider film. I would have loved to have seen how they did a sequel with that because they set it up to be the first film of a whole like series of films. So it's sad that they won't get to see that. So, but Tomb Raiders.
Apparently, we're getting a Tomb Raider series from that actress from Game of Thrones, Sophie Thatcher, I believe her name is.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll just stick with the animated show that's on Netflix right now to get my Tomb Raider kicks. Another great, but keep going.
I think that might be it as far as my notes are concerned.
Oh, okay.
The character Eric, who was involved with Ingrid, I thought his death scene could have been
Mikhail,
excuse me. Right, Eric was the alpha one, right?
Yeah. Eric was with Janicki, and and then Morton was the third wheel. He's the third wheel.
There's a Morton in every friend group.
There's always that third wheel. And that third wheel is always the person who's pining for the main character. But yeah, Mikhail and Ingen, that's a couple there.
I think Mikhail, his death scene, it's not that it's bad. It could have used a little bit more blood splatter in there. It was a little underwhelming with that. Eric had an interesting death scene when, at first you think he might have been beaten to death by the Mountain Man, but it turns out, nope. Mountain Man has been keeping him in the back of this hidden room all this time. And what happens to him is tragic, and maybe best not spoiled.
No, but you know what? It does set up the way the Mountain Man treats the people he kills or thinks he kills. What happens to Eric actually kind of gives it justification for what happens to Janicki at the very end of the film when the Mountain Man thinks that she's dead as well. So it doesn't seem like some random thing. It's just one you get the impression that the Mountain Man is not exactly the most efficient killer all the time, which is fine. Well, no, it's fine. Even Mikhail, when he screws up on trying to kill Mikhail the first time, Mikhail escapes him, and then Mikhail hides enough time to get back to his friends. And then, of course, Mikhail does a man thing and tries to leave his friends behind. And, of course, he gets...
Or Morton. Mikhail was like, you know what? That guy's injured anyway. He's not going to make it.
He's not going to make
it. Unique, we can! Tries to...
Yeah.
And when Janique says no, that's when Mikhail goes off on his own, meets the mountain man out in that shed.
Mm-hmm.
And as I say, things do not go well for
No,
Mikhail.
no. So,
So much for him. And the final climax, the final confrontation between Janique and the mountain man, it's a straightforward scene, and Janique pulls it off through some last minute assistance from Morton, who was smart enough to leave a box cutter on his body at the right time, and it was a well done final confrontation between Janique and the mountain.
Yes. I do believe that it was a really well done ending as well, because for the most part, what you see is everything being self-contained inside the little hotel, the ski resort hotel, whatever we're going to call it. And then all of a sudden, after he thinks he's killed Janicki, we're seeing him drag these bodies across a new patch of snow. And it's a beautiful shot. It's just dragging those bodies. And then he comes up to this crevice. And I was like, dude, this is how you end the fucking movie. This is a cool fucking ending. And it doesn't really matter what happens after that. It's the way they filmed it and the location. It looks fucking amazing. And it ends on such a great visual cue that you can't help it. I usually get disappointed at the end of a lot of these films, especially slasher films. But with this one, I really love the way it ended, visually speaking. I thought it was a strong ending.
After what happens to the mountain man at the end, I was I give him credit for being able to come back in the sequel. I mean, there aren't many who would survive that particular moment.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
So,
I mean, by all rights, he should be like mush on ice. But
that's because he wasn't eating just preserved foods. He was eating. Yeah,
right. Okay.
He's built like a house. Remember, he's been eating the flesh of his kills. That everyone, we don't know if he's eating the flesh of his kills. He don't actually show any of that stuff.
He's so insane from decades of cannibalism. His brain is so addled. He somehow relaxes his body just enough.
Yeah.
Between that and his parka, he's able to survive the situation.
Yeah.
Back for the sequel.
Which we will save for another episode, as we will the third film, which will give me a chance to kind of rewatch it and kind of reevaluate it. So with that, I want to thank you, Nate, for discussing this film, Cold Prey, with me from 2006. For everyone listening to our program, what we love to do on the show is we like to rate the movie between 1 and 5 stars, 1 being poor, 5 being amazing. Nate, where on that spectrum do you put this film?
Oh, where did I write that down? Let me check my notes. Now, it's a movie. It's a movie that's worth seeking out, and it is worth watching. I had a little more issues with it than Kevin here did. I think the slow burn did hurt it in some ways. So I'm going to give this 3.5 out of 5 cold, dead snowboarders falling into a ravine. Or a crevice, or however you would call that.
Crevice.
Crevasse. Maybe that's how it's pronounced in Norway, huh?
That's funny. I'm going to give it 4 deadly pickaxes into a skull. So the thing is, I've always enjoyed this first film, and now I love the second one. I think the second one's a much more realized film, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
But
they did up their game.
They upped their game in the second film.
In fact, you could consider Cold Prey 1 just one long prologue into Cold Prey 2.
Oh, that's a good point. That is a very good point. That is yes, you definitely could. I never thought of it that way. You definitely could. And so that will make when we talk about Cold Prey 2 even more enticing for everyone out there. Which I do hope that you guys could find these 3 films. I'm pretty sure. I think Cold Prey 2 is pretty much everywhere. Cold Parade 3, like I said, was hard for me to originally find 5 years ago. I can't remember now because COVID throws everything off. But it was hard for me to find when it was originally released. And so, like I said, I bought the box set of all three of them so I can watch them all. So, with that, though, I hope that you've enjoyed this program. I hope that you will definitely seek out the movie Cold Prey if you've never seen it before. If you have seen it, please, I hope that you take another look at it if you didn't enjoy it the first time. And please make sure to watch the subtitled version. You will enjoy the film so much more in this original language that way. So with that, I want to thank you all again. And please check out our other podcast, Conversations in Hammer Studio Horrors, which is every first and third Friday of the month. That podcast, we talk about nothing but Hammer Studio films. You will enjoy it if you love classic horror films. Trust me on that one. And then come back to our other podcast, which is on our Patreon page. It's exclusive, which is Conversations in 4Color, which delves deep into comic books, manga, and graphic novels. You have to be a subscriber or follower to listen to that one. But if you enjoy comic books, manga, and graphic novels, you'll enjoy what we talk about there. From all of us here at Something Wicked Entertainment, we hope to see you on our next program and have a pleasant day. Conversations in Horror is a Broken Lighthouse Pictures production, written, produced, and directed by Kevin L. Powers, executive producer Kelly A. Inoka. All contents and material from this episode of Conversations in Horror is copyright 2025 Broken Lighthouse Pictures.